Welcome back in. As I promised, we are now in the Pirate fan zone. And Cade, I said this earlier, and I thought Coach Chip was going to be here. I said the score of the game last week earlier, and I'm not going to repeat it. Lubbock Cooper got beat by Abilene Cooper last week. We'll just leave it right there. That way you guys don't have to hear the score again. Although I'm going to guess that you might have reminded your guys once or twice this week just to make sure.
One or two.
That happens. I was talking to Jay Northcutt, the friendship coach. When you coach long enough, when you play long enough, there's going to be nights when you're the bug instead of the windshield. And
Yep.
you guys just happened to be the bug the other night.
It was one of those nights.
Against a really good team. Mm-hmm. Let's just get that out of the way first. Abilene Cooper, I've heard a lot of people say this is a different Abilene Cooper. But in your district, there's a lot of different teams. Cade, grab that microphone because we've talked about this before. And I mentioned this to Ryan Rodriguez the other day. You guys have been so good for so long. I think you've probably motivated teams that play you now. They want to kind of accomplish what you guys have the last probably 20 years at Lubbock Cooper. Now you guys have kind of seen that a couple times. How do you kind of adjust and start bringing the fight to the teams you're facing?
Yeah, it's a really competitive district, and anyone can go out and win like any Friday, so we just got to come out and execute each week.
And I know you guys have heard this. Coach said this, especially you senior guys. Now it's a 3-week season for you for what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. Starts Friday at home against Palo Duro, 7 p.m. at Pirate Stadium right here on 1.7 The Score. Just so happens that you come off a game like that. This is Ty Hooper, by the way. I should have introduced him before we got started. He's a receivers coach. Youngest guy on the staff?
Pretty close, if not.
Coach Starden has some guys. I don't think he's got anybody my age. Maybe he might. But I know when he talked, he's saying your praises. I'm not blowing smoke here. He was talking about kind of you breathing some new life and bringing some fresh ideas. But you've played and you've coached enough to know that sometimes fate is just going to smile at you and sometimes it's not. You guys go off of that game, you may be playing the best team in your district, at least right now, Friday night against the Dons.
For sure.
When you've looked at them on video a little bit, from a receivers coach or from an offensive mind, what do you guys have to do against them?
Well, they're very sound. They're coached well. They play really, really hard. They're athletic. They're all the things you want a defense to be. They play a lot of man coverage, so we've got to be able to win against that, and we've got to be able to run the football. I think our guys have had a really good week of practice, and like you said, Palo Duro's probably the best team we've played so far. Coach Mims and his staff have done a fantastic job with them, but I think it comes down to our focus all week has been focusing on us and fixing our things that we saw Friday and through the year, just trying to be the best version of the Pirates we can be.
Now, when he said man coverage, I kind of looked over there sideways. Did I see a smile, Cade? Do you get excited with man coverage?
A little bit.
Because this young man, there's maybe a handful of 4 or 5 guys that are just faster than anybody else in Lubbock. And that guy's one of them right there.
We'd like to think so, for sure.
And I'm not sure I believed that, or I just hadn't seen it until last year, but whatever him and Ryan Rodriguez did in the offseason to get faster, you guys need to bottle that because these two dudes now are like just lightning in a bottle.
They're getting after it. And I think that's just a testament to both of them, just the way they work in the offseason. Ryan's a baseball guy, a varsity baseball player, so he's out there on the diamond during the spring and putting in his own work. And Cade was a big part of our track team this offseason, or in the spring, rather, and sprinted a bunch for us and did a good job on a couple of relays. So I think it's just a testament to those guys and how they work and how much they want to get better, all over the place.
And this may sound odd, Cade, but you probably should have smiled too when he talked about you guys wanting to run the ball better, because when Shemaine and who's your other running back?
Jathan Caraway. When
those guys are running well and kind of taking the defense's attention, that helps you. That helps you and the other receivers get open. How important does balance need to be this week against Palo Duro so you guys can kind of start attacking in many ways?
Super important because Jathan and Deuce, they go down, get yards in the run game, and that just opens up the passing game. And then it's the same thing for the passing game. It opens up the running game too.
I think last week was your season low in scoring.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And that's, again, just part of the aberration that I think Coach Darden, in the story that my guy wrote, used the word snowball a lot.
Yeah.
And Cade, I'll ask you the same question I asked Ryan Sione the other day. If that snowball, start to see that snowball, as one of the older guys, how do you kind of make sure that snowball doesn't get any bigger?
Just make sure the energy stays up and just cheer on your team and tell them to keep playing.
And that's maybe, I don't want to, how do I say this? When your back's to the wall, I think fair to say you guys' back's to the wall, that's really important. Have you kind of seen that energy, renewed energy in practice a little bit this week?
Sure, definitely practicing with a chip on our shoulder, a lot of energy.
What about you, Ty? You've seen these guys. This your second year?
It's my fourth.
Oh, man, I'm trying to shortchange you.
That's
So
all right.
you've been around them. You've been around some really good teams, and you know that what the expectations are. Have you kind of seen an uptick this week?
For sure, and I think our kids have a lot of pride in who they are and our brand of football, and you know, you said earlier we have had a bunch of success, and that's a testament to the coaches that have been here before me and our kids and the way they work. And you know, nobody likes taking one on the chin the way we did last week, but I think our kids have a lot of pride in who they are and our team and our program, and want to fight back and kind of dig ourselves out of a little bit of a corner and go to work.
This is going to sound weird, maybe. I said this to Chip. If you lose by 1 or 50, they count the same.
They do.
Except, I think when your pride gets a little bruised, I think you maybe come out a little bit more focused, because if you lose by 1, you spend more time thinking about, well, if you'd done this, we could have done. You get beat by 50, you don't have to worry about that. You can just come out and it's time to go to work.
Back to work, no doubt.
Did you go back to work this week, Cade?
Sure.
Who sets the tone when that needs to be? I've mentioned that to Sione. I'm going to guess that he was fairly vocal this week. But who else? Because you and Ryan are quiet guys, but I bet when the two of you talk, your teammates listen.
Yeah, I'd say Sione for sure, Ryan too, Deuce, and yeah, just a lot of other players.
Pirates are at home 7 p.m. Friday against Palo Duro. That's District 2 5A Division 2. It's right here in 100.7 The Score. There's work to do for the Pirates. I don't know if their backs are complete. I don't know if they're painted into the corner, but they need to get some wins here in the next 3 weeks to get where they want to get, and that starts Friday night. Coming up on a break, we'll be back after this on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the latest news from Lubbock Cooper Athletics. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. We are in the Pirate Fan Zone. I'm going to run through. I want to mention something real quick here before I forget, because we've done this every week, and there's no reason we shouldn't do it this week. The Fan Zone, we're going to do the Fan Zone Girls and Boys Players of the Week. Almost forgot. We're getting towards the end of the week here. And volleyball, the Fan Zone Girls Player of the Week is, let me open it up here. Emmy Satterfield from Monterey. Lady Plains won, I think, until maybe last night. That may have ended last night. We're in the hunt for a playoff spot in District 3 5A. She had a big week last week. She had 2 matches. She had 32 digs, 30 kills, 23 assists, and 5 aces. And then for the Boys Player of the Week, this is a little bit of a sellout, but I don't mind being a sellout once in a while. I want to give it kind of a co-situation. The 2 running backs who were out for a couple weeks for Liberty came back. Colin Chadwick and Talon Wilcox were back. Pirates needed to Pirates. Joe Sexton's going to kick me in the shins because I said that. The Patriots needed to bounce back after losing their first game, and they sure did against Perryton. They beat them 56-14, ran for 419 yards. Colin ran for, I don't have that broken down, but Colin and Talon together ran for 183 yards on 17 carries, and both had a touchdown. Just a huge game coming back. Liberty and Estacado play on October 30th, and sorry, Joe Sexton and Eric Ward, I'm looking ahead a little bit. I don't have to follow coaching rules, so that's going to be basically for the district championship. I'm going to guess you got to know Coach Sexton a little bit before.
A little bit, yes, sir.
And did you ever have Coach Sexton for anything when you were?
I'm sure.
I bet your brother knew him a little bit. Everybody knew
Probably.
Coach Joe at Lubbock Cooper. He's just one of those dudes. He's from Perryton, so he's up from your neck of the woods.
Yes, sir.
That's where Liberty had to go last week. How far do you think it is from here to Perryton?
Oh, it's probably, I don't know. It normally took me 3 hours to get back to Pampa when my parents were up there. It's another hour past that.
You still got to go for a ways.
Probably right at 4 hours.
That's a long road trip. Is Canutillo your longest road trip?
Yeah,
Cade?
for sure. Yes, sir.
But you came back happy.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I tease this guy about smiling because
he doesn't very often.
no, he doesn't. I told you between the breaks, I see a lot of my young me when I talk to Cade. It's okay to smile, Cade.
Yeah.
You're playing sports, so. But the trip to Canutillo was like I made that trip by myself. I told people I will never complain about going to Fort Stockton again because Canutillo seems like you just keep driving and keep driving and keep driving.
Just kept going.
But you guys came back happy.
Sure.
And you want to get back. I don't know if you want to go to Canutillo. You want to get back to the playoffs. What's the magic formula starting Friday for you guys? What's got to be different or be better starting Friday than what happened last week?
Just execute our coach's game plan and play hard every play. Then we can get there.
What about you, Ty? What do you think's got to be done?
Yeah, I think Cade hit it on the head. I think it comes down to us playing hard every snap and executing. And I think the big thing for us, like I told you earlier, we talked this week about fixing our things and focusing on us. And Palo Duro is a great team, and they've done a really good job this year. And we're excited for the opportunity, but I think it just comes down to us doing our job one guy at a time, from coaches to players, everybody, just one snap at a time, one guy at a time, and try to be 1-0 at the end of Friday night.
Last week was bad. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. But this is a team that beat Friendship. Mm-hmm. And Friendship's a really good team. It beat Tascosa. Tascosa's a really good team. This is a team that has the ingredients. Sometimes the ingredients just kind of get out of whack a little bit. That's why you get to play 10 of them. Cade, do you remember that team that beat those guys? Friendship and
Sure,
Tasco?
I do. Yep.
Do you still feel like that team can put it together here in this 3-game stretch?
Definitely capable of that.
What were you guys doing well? And listen, when you start looking at how you beat Wichita Falls Legacy, and then what Wichita Falls Legacy did last week, that win all of a sudden looks a little bit more impressive. Mm-hmm. What do you do to get back to that? What do you do? Defensively, you guys have been good at some things you struggle with. Offensively, the Plainview game is a little bit of an aberration because you lose Ryan and things change. But who's got to lead the way? Does it have to be seniors? Does it have to be one guy? Does it have to be one unit?
I'd say the whole team. Just if the whole team's doing their job, and if something goes wrong, just battle back, and that's really it.
Yep, that's you. I think you've listened to your head coach because that's something he talked about quite a bit the other day when we did a podcast. Just what do you call it? 4 or 5 seconds, a little quick. The 7-second rule. Whatever just happened, forget about it. Dust yourself off and go. So that's going to be a theme for Lubbock Cooper, especially starting Friday. Palo Duro is, I believe, 5-1, 6-1. They're 2-0 in district. Playing really well. It's a game that I think is there for the taking for the Pirates, just like the last two will be. We're coming up on the final break in the Pirate Fan Zone. We'll be back after that on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. We have one more segment of the Pirate Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. I'll say it one more time. Pirates are at home Friday night against Palo Duro, 7 p.m. right here on 100.7 The Score. That's going to be a big game for both teams. I'm curious to see how. I'm not going to try to blow smoke on you guys here. Palo Duro hasn't been in a ton of big games recently this late in the season, so I'm curious to see how they handle the environment. You know, it's between the lines. Jimmy's and Joe's, it's coaches getting them ready, but I feel like your home crowd may have a little bit to do with this as well.
I sure hope so. Our crowd and our fans and families and parents have always been really good, really supportive of us, and traveled well and always packed the stadium at home. So hope it's out there and loud and tons of fun for everybody on Friday night.
Cade, you want those stands full?
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys have played in some empty-ish stadiums, but you've also played in Lubbock Cooper Friendship games. And do you get more juice when it's full like it was out in Wolforth a few weeks ago?
Yeah, definitely get more juice, feel it way more.
And you're supposed to play the same way all the time, but I think it's just human nature to, when there's a little bit, when your hair's standing on end, you're playing a little bit better.
No doubt. Something a little extra on the line, and rivalry games and district ball games, those are always fun. And when they're packed, it's even more fun. So
Ty is a guy from Pampa. You played, was Palo Duro a team you played back in your day?
no, sir, we didn't.
They've kind of gone back and forth between 5A and 4A. I'm going to guess Borger was your rival?
They were, yes, sir.
Does it have a name?
Not that I know of. I'm sure probably somewhere, but not that I know of.
I've known a few people that said that could be kind of a nasty.
There were times where it was, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Communities are close enough, you know a bunch of people, so.
So you've been at Lubbock Cooper for 4 years. I'm sure that you've seen this, and Cade, I think you've probably heard me say this. One thing about Lubbock Cooper is you guys bring out the best in folks quite a bit. They love to, for whatever reason, we do all 8 public schools here on the high school fan zone, so I'm not a favorite of any of them. I love everybody the same. I'm like Switzerland. But for whatever reason, Lubbock Cooper and Friendship, and now I think Liberty and Memorial are going to get used to this. And there's a big old X on you guys. They love to beat Lubbock Cooper. You like that, Cade? You like being the, I don't know if villain's the right word, you like being the team that folks like to beat?
Yeah, I do like it. Brings out the best of our team and the other team. Just get it competitive.
Especially in football, I think that's the case. In basketball, I think it's just good old, clean, old-fashioned fun out there. In track, is there a vicious rivalry with anybody in track, or is it just?
Not really.
Who's your rivalry in sprints in Lubbock?
Who do you say? I don't know.
I think one of them was on the show last night, Corin Boyd from Monterey. You don't run against Cedric Ross, do you?
No, sir.
Not in district and.
Not in district or any of our advancement stuff, but we see a lot of area schools throughout the year at different track meets. You know, we have our track meet we host, and we go to Andrews, and we go to the Friendship track meet. So we see a lot of the area schools and see a lot of that speed all the time. So I think our kids get along pretty well and like to compete with each other out there during the spring. So
Track's much more gentle. You're not knocking heads with each other.
no doubt.
Now, there was a little bit of intensity against Friendship. Is that a fair word to say?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And that's always going to be the case, but that's what makes high school football what it is. Mm-hmm. In district, when you got into this point of the season, you can't really worry about stuff like that. You just have to go and play. But Ty, do you feel like these guys, and Chip said this a little bit, he wants a little bit of an edge, not anything dirty or nasty, just he wants them this week, he wants to see a little bit more of an edge from them.
Absolutely, and I think we have in practice. I think guys have gone really, really hard, and I think we've had to kind of tell them to pump the brakes a little bit. You know, I think the response this week from the way Friday went has been really good, and you know, I think as coaches we'd always love to see just a little bit more of that edge from your kids, just because you know they're raring and ready to go, and I think our kids have done a really good job of that this week in practice. So I'm excited to see what they go do on Friday.
Cade, you out there talking trash?
No,
I can't
not
imagine.
really.
Cade is a let his actions speak type of guy. I've just seen him for the last couple of years. In basketball, you seen this dude play basketball?
I have.
He's fun to watch.
He's a stud.
He comes out and the game changes because of his speed and because he brings that football energy onto the court with him. I've enjoyed watching him in basketball.
He's too humble to say it, but that kid's a stud all over the place. Works his tail off. He deserves it.
I've enjoyed getting to know him and Ryan in particular, and he knows I like him. So and Ryan, I've told him I'm like the Ryan whisperer, because I can get Ryan to actually talk a little bit. I'm still working on Cade. I'm going to try to get him to talk more as we go, but I can actually get Ryan to smile and to actually open up a little bit. That's like been one of my greatest accomplishments in life. Lubbock Cooper at home Friday against Palo Duro, 7 p.m. right here on 100.7 The Score. Tommy Wood, Chuck Darden, and I believe Taylor McMacken will have the call for you. We'll be back next week in the High School Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta, and this is 100.7 The Score.